everyone. Welcome to my channel. A couple of weeks ago, I did a video on the 992.2 based on the spy shots they have on the internet. May 28th, Porsche actually did announce what their 911 hybrid would look like on GTS model as well as the Carrera, the base model. The speculations I have collected 2 weeks ago, most of them were correct, except four-wheel drive versus a two-wheel drive. Carrera S, Carrera T, I don't think those are available yet, but we do know of GTS and Carrera, the base. The specifics, the LED indicator that used to be on the front bumper is now in the main unit of the headlight. This active grille shutters in the front bumper. So it's supposed to control the airflow as needed. This allows a larger air intakes. In the rear, LED indicator isn't dipped anymore, so it's a straight line. And the engine grille has fewer strikes. So the engine grille used to be like 9 strikes and then a couple red lights in the middle, so making it like a 911. People are counting that as a 911, but now there's a 6, so it's kind of like 611. Interior, they removed the only analog piece in the gauge cluster. This was that tachometer, the analog. So now that got replaced with 12.6-inch curved display. It used to be that twist knob on the left side of the steering wheel. It has that classic Porsche ignition start sequence, but that's gone. Now it's a start button. The single turbocharger is a Borg-Warner unit with a 27 horsepower electric motor. It is actually sandwiched between the compressor and exhaust side of the turbo. This motor greatly reduces the turbo lag at low revs. So for example, at 2000 RPM with the closed throttle, the old GTS required over 3 seconds to achieve full boost when the throttle was floored, while this new GTS does it in slightly less than 1 second. The final power producing element is the electric motor and generator. It's fitted to the 8-speed PDK. 8-speed PDK transmission is the only one that's available in GTS. No more manual transmission. So the manual transmission is dead. So the total horsepower on this 911 Carrera GTS, you can get that for 164,900. That has a 532 horsepower. You can do 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds with the Sport Chrono package. And you can go top speed of 194 miles an hour. Carrera, the base model, which is a model that I have, the improvements in the base Carrera are much more modest. They didn't put the hybrid. They kept everything pretty much the same, but the exterior and interior, I think because the GTS shares that with the base model, they had to make that change. So with that change going into base model, the price has actually gone up. Base gets the active grille shutters to control airflow as needed. And in the front, the new headlights incorporate all the front lining. So even the LED indicator is now in the main unit of the headlight. In the rear, the full width light bar, taillights, and the indicator are the same, but the indicator is actually a little wider now. So they don't dip. They just stretch out wide and they all stay within the line. So it's a part of the straight light bar. It is aggressive, lines are sharp, and it's a bit more chiseled in the front and the rear. Now everything sits within 1-2 straight lines like the GTS. The license plate cutout is a bit higher, just like GTS. And the engine grille has a fewer strikes, just like GTS. It's no longer 9 strikes and 2 strikes. It's 6 and 2, and then it has a little one in between. They removed the analog piece of gauge, so the tachometer is gone, just like GTS. Got replaced with 12.6-inch curved display, just like GTS. And the push start button, I got added on and twists on the left side of the steering wheel. It's gone. Powertrain, it is not like GTS. It's still powered the same engine, 3.0 Alpha 6. Now uses intercooler from the 911 turbo models, and the turbochargers are from the previous generation GTS. That is larger. Boost rises from 12.0 to 17.4 psi. It's higher than 992.1 Carrera S, but the result isn't really much except to have 9 more horsepower bump. So it now is 388 horsepower, still at 6,500 RPM. The peak torque is unchanged. It's still a 331 pound-feet torque. The improvements in the base Carrera are much more modest, with the time to 60 improving by 10th to 3.7 seconds with the chrono. With the chrono, it would be 3.7. Without the chrono, it would be 3.9. And top speed, 183 from 182. So it is pretty much the same. I don't see a whole lot of improvements in the performance, but the looks of that exterior and interior has changed. 992.2 base starts at 120,100, which is 5,700 more than 992.1. Base model does have a same destination charge of $1,900. So here's a front view. As you can see, the bumper, the front fascia, definitely is chiseled. There's more angle and lines. Personally, I like that LED on front, but I also like that chisel look. I think it's more aggressive, and I think it looks more modern. The rear definitely has changed. The bumper looks more aggressive. It's not rounded like 992.1. And those edges, as well as the tail light. Tail lights are straight. There's no dipping on this indicator. They're all straight line, and Porsche letters are in the middle. I also see the indicator more wider, so they're now almost closer to the letter of Porsche. So the bumper now has a plate, so it kind of does look like how the Sport package used to look like, but different. So it is more aggressive, and I do see the resemblance of that with the Panamera. So is that worth $5,700, and is that worth more waiting? What do you think? Please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, everyone. Videos to be continued.